After waking up from a car accident, there was a system in my mind. It told me that I was living in a blme novel. But I was just a male supporting character. I was the stepping stone on the protagonist's emotional journey and the accelerant for their relationship to heat up. I was the sugar daddy of the main bottom and also a pathetic and resentful figure with a tragic ending. The moment I saw the main bottom, I fell in love with him uncontrollably. It's a pity that my way of loving was wrong. I imprisoned and monitored him and even made him drop out of school and stay by my side. I became the nightmare of the main bottom until the main top appeared and rescued him. Of course, the main top didn't let me off either. The company went bankrupt and I was in debt of tens of billions. Under the huge pressure, I committed. So, host, if you listen to me, you can change the ending. The voice of the system echoed in my mind. I don't believe it. I'm a good person who has received higher education and always abides by the core socialist values. How could I do such a thing? I'll go to see a doctor for my head tomorrow. You actually don't believe in the existence of this system? The voice of the system was a bit exasperated. Then let you see my power. After the system finished speaking, my phone lit up and the text message showed that 10 million yuan had been spent from my card. The company I founded was still in the rising stage and this was all the money in my card. I asked the system in shock, did you do this? Of course. If you don't follow the plot, I'll make you go bankrupt right now. Everything that happened was too strange. After weighing the pros and cons, I compromised. Okay, return the money to me first. Then tell me what I should do. It's very simple. You just need to keep the main bottom for 1 year. Note that you must meet each other every day during this year. The host will be rewarded with 1 billion yuan after the task is completed. I was silent and began to calculate in my mind. The system only said to keep him. As long as I didn't hurt the main bottom, he wouldn't have any psychological trauma. Maybe the main top wouldn't bankrupt me either. Then I would be making 1 billion yuan for free. Yes, just do it like this. At 8 o'clock tonight, the main bottom will be in trouble at the Hanjin Club. Save him and keep him. After the system finished speaking, it ignored me. I start to deal with work. During the period of starting a business, there are a lot of things to do. The night is falling and it's the private room of the club. When I open the door, the smell of strong liquor rushes towards me. There are quite a few people in the private room. They are all some playboys. They are sitting on the sofa looking at the man kneeling beside the table and drinking. No one even notices my entering. Drink a glass and I'll give you 10,000 yuan. How much you can get from me depends on how much you can drink. The man's face is a bit green. He looks like a young lamb who has just stepped into society. Really? Really? Of course. I'm not short of money. The man picks up the wine glass and drinks. System, is this main bottom? To ensure the smooth completion of the task, I still ask. Zila, intermittent electric current sounds ring in my mind. After a while, the system replies to me. It is detected that the location where the host is located is correct. The existence of main bottom is detected. Please start the task of keeping the host. Host, there is a bug in my system and it needs to be repaired. Please complete the following tasks independently. After the system finishes speaking, the sound of electric current also disappears. I try to call it twice, but there is no reply. Let's do the task first. During the time when I was communicating with the system, main bottom has already drunk 5 glasses of wine and his body starts to sway. I step forward and hold down his hand that is about to pick up the wine glass. Stop drinking. Who are you? One of the yellow-haired guys is about to get angry immediately but is elbowed by the person next to him. The person who first shouted for drinking stands up. Cousin, why did you come? Sit down quickly. The others also stand up and call out, Leo. I nod to show my response. Looking at the man still holding the wine glass, I lift his chin and examine his face. His facial features are delicate, his eyes are sharp. He is really good looking. I stare at this face for a long time until my cousin's voice interrupts my train of thought. Cousin, are you interested in him? I ignore my cousin. Instead, I look down at the man kneeling on the ground and ask, what's your name? James. Are you sure? Yes. Are you in great need of money? Yes. I raise my head and sweep my eyes across everyone present and say, everyone, I want this person. I pull the man up from the ground and leave the private room. It wasn't until he got in my car that James seemed to react. Who are you? Where are you taking me? I let out a soft laugh. Isn't it a bit late to ask this question now? He showed a hesitant look, thought for a while and didn't say anything more. The car stopped downstairs of my apartment and he obediently followed me upstairs. But he hesitated when we got to the door and carefully sized up the inside of the house. I ignored him and walked straight in. But he grabbed me. The originally sharp eyes rippled because of the strong liquor. He let out a soft sigh and asked me, "Will you give me money?" "Yes." My answer seemed to give him courage, and he walked in. He sat on the sofa while I went to the study to get the documents. Coincidentally, a work call came. By the time I came out, half an hour had passed. The person on the sofa was completely drunk and unconscious. The red wine I had originally placed on the coffee table was already empty. Seeing me coming, he opened his even more blurred eyes and struggled to hold my hand. "Come on, I'm ready." I couldn't help laughing. Is a main bottom really this proactive? It's a pity that I really don't want to do anything to him. He is destined to meet his main top in the future. Why should I interfere? Even though he is exactly to my taste. I put the sugar daddy contract in my hand on the coffee table. I helped James on the sofa up and prepared to take him to the guest bedroom. The man was a bit taller than me and extremely heavy. It was finally possible to put him on the bed. I was going back to the study to deal with some more work. Starting a business is really exhausting. James grabbed my collar. He kissed my lips precisely. I struggled to no avail. I gave up. Daring to kiss the benefactor forcefully, it's really terrifying. When his strength weakened a bit, I got up directly. He looked at me blankly, as if he didn't understand why I stopped. I grabbed the quilt and covered him with it. I said coldly, "You should go to sleep. I still have work to do." I worked in the study until after 3 o'clock in the morning. It was already 10 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. I walked out and smelled the aroma of food but didn't see anyone. The sugar baby agreement on the coffee table had already been signed. There was also a note beside it, "The food is in the kitchen. I have a part-time job and will come back at night." His phone number was also written below the note. I remember the system said that I forced to sugar baby him. But now he is clearly very proactive. He dared to sign the agreement without even getting the money from me. He's really a fool. It doesn't matter anyway. As long as the plot goes as planned, earning $1 billion in a year is not a bad deal. I drank the porridge he cooked and went back to the company to continue dealing with work. I came back very late because of the business entertainment. As I got out of the elevator, I saw a person squatting in front of my door. A white sweatshirt paired with light blue jeans. This outfit looks very student-like. Hearing the sound, James closed his computer and looked at me. "What are you doing?" "Writing my graduation thesis." "Right, he's already a senior this year. The agreement states that we must meet every day, so I asked him to come here every day. I even registered his fingerprint on the door lock. He followed me in, looking like he wanted to say something but hesitated. "What's up? Could you give me this month's money first?" James' mother is ill and the treatment requires a lot of money. To earn money, he has taken on many jobs and even worked in a club. In the original work, in the early stage, main top and main bottom are kind of saving each other because at the beginning they are equally poor. In the later stage, main top really grows up and then takes me down. So, in the sugar baby agreement I gave him, it's written that I'll give him 100,000 yuan every month. Targeting the problem, I bet James can't refuse. "Add me online and send me your bank card number." Okay. After dealing with this, I was about to take a shower and go to bed. I'm so tired. Work is tiring and so are the social engagements. When I came out of the shower, there was an extra person on the bed. He greeted me enthusiastically. "Come on, I'm ready." No, go back to your own bed." "Why? Didn't you sugar baby me just to do that kind of thing with me? Can you accept being the bottom?" "Sure, I even watched some videos to learn. Maybe one day you'll meet someone you truly love. Would you be willing to accept such a past?" The topic changed so suddenly that James was taken aback for a moment. If it was forced, I would hate such a past. But now I'm doing it voluntarily. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel at ease taking this money. I don't understand why main bottom is willing to do this, but at least it shows that he doesn't hate me for now. I decided to strike while the iron is hot. During the 1-year period of our agreement, I won't do anything to you. After 1 year, we'll go our separate ways. You can't take revenge on me or do anything to hurt me. James looked very confused, but there seemed to be a flash of disappointment in his eyes. What is he disappointed about? I'm puzzled and don't want to understand. After a while, James said, "So are you doing charity?" I wanted to deny it, but then I thought my actions were no different from just giving away money. I closed my eyes for a moment and waved my hand to let him leave. I originally thought that everything would be peaceful between us from then on, but unfortunately I was wrong. It seemed that the 100,000 yuan from me really made him very uneasy. James started to keep himself busy all the time. First, he prepared 3 meals a day for me. Later, he began to clean up my house. Sometimes he even worked part-time as my driver. There were still a lot of things to do in the company and many business entertainments couldn't be declined. It seemed quite nice to have someone waiting for me no matter how late I got home. When I earned more each month, I would give James more money. When I earned less, I would give him 100,000 yuan. It was my grandfather's birthday and many people came to offer their birthday greetings. During the dinner, someone mentioned my marriage. I managed to fob it off. My father talked to me about a marriage alliance while my mother gave me some traditional Chinese medicine. She said it could change my sexual orientation. It was really ridiculous. My cousin seemed to notice that I was a bit depressed. He invited me to go drinking with him at night and I didn't refuse. After drinking glass after glass of wine, my vision began to blur. At this time, my cousin whispered to me mysteriously that he had something good. After a while, some young boys and girls came. The one in the lead looked 5/10 like James. My cousin nudged my shoulder and said with a smile, "Brother, I know you like this type." The young boy naturally sat beside me and began to feed me drinks. At this moment, the door of the private room suddenly opened. The person who came was James. He silently grabbed me and dragged me away. Just like when I took him away back then, but he seemed a bit angry and his movements were a bit rough. When we got home, he pinned me against the door. The man was like an angry little beast. He questioned me. Why can he do it, but I can't? Leo, why on earth did you keep me? Why do you always stare at me? Who exactly are you looking at? James' voice was a bit choked up. Every night you would wait until I fell asleep and then go into my room to look at me, but during the day you never get close to me. Why? I stroked his cheek and said softly, because it's impossible between us. Why? I didn't say a word and James didn't want to hear the answer either. He kissed me frantically. His tongue pried open my teeth and his hand also reached for the hem of my clothes. After a long time, I felt like I was about to suffocate and James let me go. He murmured in my ear, "Leo, I've given you many chances." Then he picked me up horizontally and walked towards the bedroom. I was pressed onto the bed and kissed for a while. Between gasps, I gradually came to my senses from the passion. I secretly admonished myself that I couldn't let things go on like this. When James was about to take the next step, I slapped him. While he was in a daze, I gathered my strength and kicked him off the bed. I'm quite strong. James fell to the ground and didn't get up. He didn't understand why the person who had just responded to him suddenly turned against him. I opened my mouth, wanting to tell him about the system and the future. But no sound came out of my throat. I couldn't speak. Helplessly, I had to get up from the bed and tidy up my wrinkled shirt. Leaving a sentence, "You should have a good rest," I left. Back in the study, I reflected on myself. After all, he is the protagonist. It's not good to just hit him like that. But who knows about my grievances over these days? Forget it. He doesn't know anything. Why should I argue with him? As I came out of the study, James was standing at the door. "Sorry. I apologize for my previous behavior." "It's okay. Don't do this again in the future." After saying that, I walked around him and headed towards the bedroom. But James grabbed my hand. He looked into my eyes seriously and solemnly and said, "Leo, I like you." I didn't respond and James continued on his own. "I fell in love with you at first sight. I signed that agreement just to stay by your side. Please don't abandon me." "Okay." The man's eyes were full of sincerity and caution. But I can't give him a promise. If I know there won't be a good ending in the end, maybe I shouldn't have given him the hope to continue in the first place. "James, we just have a simple financial relationship. Don't think too much. I'm keeping you not because I like you. I have my own purpose. When the agreement expires, we'll go our separate ways." I said firmly and didn't dare to look at James anymore before going back to the bedroom. My words didn't seem to have any effect on James. He still prepares 3 meals a day for me without missing any. The house is already so clean that there's no need for a housekeeper to clean it. Except that he starts to keep seducing me. He sends me a photo at noon, which is the meal he prepares for me. But in the photo, his abs are accidentally exposed. And he adds the caption, "Brother, I'll deliver it later." This is not the first time. If I get home early, I'll even see him cooking without a shirt on, just wearing an apron. His full chest muscles and six-pack abs are faintly visible under the apron. He's like a peacock showing off its feathers, exuding charm everywhere in this house. There's a dish that suits my taste very much on the table, but I can't eat it, nor can I show that I want to eat it. It's very painful. I decide to keep him busy. I know that he founded a game studio and has made several small games which have received good responses. For the studio to continue to develop, I became his first angel investor. Driven by my money, he starts to get busy. After having the breakfast he makes every morning, we go out together and get home very late at night. The time we spend together every day has decreased a lot, but it doesn't affect James' enthusiasm. I like you has become his daily catchphrase, and he never forgets to buy me gifts when he makes money. To let more investors notice him, I take James to many wine parties. At first, he just followed me and watched me talk to others. Later, he was also able to talk eloquently in front of a group of company bosses and strive for opportunities for his own project. Drinking is inevitable in socializing, and then both of us got drunk. Fortunately, this time it was in the hotel of my friend Henry, and we stayed in a presidential suite together. James, when drunk, is even cuter than usual. While rubbing against me randomly, he kept saying sweet words without restraint. Later, with red eyes and in a pitiful tone, he said, "Please, don't abandon me." My heart softened and I let this kid succeed. When I woke up the next day, I felt a bit regretful. Regretful about my previous reserve. I was washing up when I saw James hurry in. He hugged me from behind and rubbed against me like a puppy. When I woke up and didn't see you by my side, I thought you had left. James' voice was a bit aggrieved and a bit cautious. Just now I was thinking about our relationship. I can't explain the system and the plot, and I don't know if I can really change them. I'm very afraid that my current life will turn into a bubble in future memories. I've been thinking repeatedly about the possibility of us going on. I'm a bit irritated, so I went drinking with the guys at night. In the bar, I drank silently. Daniel came over and clinked glasses with me. "Leo, are you still dating that college student? I saw him pick you up last time after we finished discussing the project." I sighed lightly and said, "No, we broke up." "You're kidding. One day I saw someone who looked a lot like him come out of your house to take out the trash. Did you find a substitute?" I shook my head and didn't want to say more. Henry, beside him, clearly enjoyed watching the fun and added fuel to the fire. "Leo, that guy was with you since he was 18, and you still haven't given him a proper status. You're really a scumbag." "I haven't done anything to let him down. We're just broken up." "Well, I don't know who it was that made a bet with their family and then went to start a business for their little boyfriend. Look at your lovelorn look. It's pitiful." "Same to you, young Master Pay. You've been secretly in love with someone for 10 years and just spent money coolly. In the end, the other person thought you were keeping him. You're such a clown." After chatting with the guys for a while, Henry had to go home to accompany his little canary. Daniel was also called away by a phone call. Before leaving, Henry patted me on the shoulder and said, "Leo, you just think too much and aren't brave enough." I was silent because he was right. After drinking by myself for a while, I felt bored and walked out. Just as I was about to call a designated driver, I saw a person squatting beside my car. It was James. "Why did you come?" "I was worried about you since you didn't go home so late." I threw the car keys to him and got into the passenger seat. The car drove very steadily and I felt drowsy. At this time, James suddenly said, "Brother, did we know each other before?" "No, we didn't." I answered simply. James didn't give up either. "Really?" "Yes." "Okay, brother. I like you very much today too." Since his confession last time, James has been saying that he likes me every day and I'm already used to it. Still not getting a response, James didn't mind and played a soothing song. I fell asleep to the gentle singing. I dreamed about my first encounter with James. It was a winter. My father donated a building to his alma mater, University A. In order to thank my father, the school specially invited him back for a visit. Unfortunately, he was ill during that period, so I went on his behalf. University A is also my alma mater. When the school knew it was me coming, they asked if I could give a speech and give some advice to the juniors and seniors. It was there that I met James. He is a freshman this year and also a member of the student union. He followed others to participate in the reception. The boy was a bit green, but he was extremely serious in his work. Mainly, his face was just to my taste. Therefore, I remembered his name, James. I accepted his request for a group photo and gave him a book. On the title page, I wrote, "Have the courage to move forward," giving a little blessing to this boy who caught my eye. I thought we wouldn't have any more interactions until I went mountain climbing with my friends. The sudden snowstorm caught us off guard. Then I got separated from my friends. There was white snow all around, and I lost my way. Fortunately, I found a temple, but it had already been abandoned. The temple has been moved to the top of the mountain. It is said to be very efficacious. Before I set off, my mother asked me to get a safety amulet here. There was no signal on the mountain, and I couldn't even call for help. But at this moment, James seemed to appear beside me out of thin air. His home is halfway up the mountain. His family's dog ran out when it was snowing. Sometimes the dog would also come to this temple to play, so he came here to look for it. Unexpectedly, he met me. He took me back to his home. James is very enthusiastic. He and his family treat me very well. The sudden snowstorm blocked the way down the mountain, so I had to stay at James's house for the time being. There was no extra room in his house, so I squeezed into the same bed with him. He always chooses to sleep near the edge of the bed, leaving more space for me. But he doesn't know that his body is like a stove, and I always can't help getting closer to absorb more warmth. We talked a lot. I could feel the ideals and ambitions of the young man and the vitality of an 18-year-old boy from our conversations. I haven't seen James's father. He lives with his mother at his grandfather's house. His mother is very gentle, but it's not hard to see that she is a very assertive person. She has also taught James very well. James is very filial. He always rushes to do the housework, and the elders always can't help showing their love and admiration for him. James is really a very good boy. The snow has been shoveled almost, and the roads up and down the mountain are open again. I still decide to go to the temple on the top of the mountain. James accompanied me up the mountain and told me that praying for peace and marriage here is very effective. I went to pray for peace, but James prayed for marriage. I couldn't understand it. He's only 18. What's the rush? He just smiled and said, I've always prayed for peace every time I come. This time I want to try praying for marriage. It was half a month later when I walked out of the mountains. To show my gratitude for the family's help to me, I gave them a lot of money, but they refused. They only hoped that I could take care of James a bit in the capital. I promised and gave him many opportunities. I also introduced him to people who could help him. He's very smart and capable. I think he will achieve something. Later, James confessed his love to me. I couldn't deny my feelings for James, so we got together. I felt someone pick me up. It must be James. We should be home. My rationality told me that I should open my eyes, but this embrace was so long, awaited. James carefully laid me on the bed and gently covered me with the quilt. I heard James go out. After a while, he came back and put a glass of water beside me. The room became completely quiet, but I knew he didn't leave. In the morning, I was woken up by the phone ringing. Grandpa was ill. I quickly got up and rushed to the hospital without even having breakfast. When I arrived at the hospital, Grandpa was out of danger. Fortunately, it was discovered in time and his condition had stabilized. When Grandpa woke up, I talked to him for a while and then went to the company. There were nurses taking care of him there. I couldn't do much. When I got to the company, there was a breakfast on the table and there was also a note in it. I like you just as much today. It goes without saying who sent it. Even the assistant couldn't help saying, since your partner started sending you meals, your stomachache has never recurred. A week later, Grandpa was discharged from the hospital and went to the best nursing home in Jing City. I went to visit him but happened to meet James and his mother. Aunt was sitting in a wheelchair and James was pushing her from behind. I heard James say, Mom, did I forget a very important person? Why do you say so? I've fallen in love with someone. No, I can say I'm in love with someone. Oh, what kind of girl is she? It's a boy. James' mother stopped and didn't say a word. James then said, from the first time I saw him, I fell in love with him. Every time I see him, my heart always beats faster involuntarily. As long as I see him every day, I'll be very happy even if he doesn't talk to me. James walked up to his mother, squatted down, and held his mother's hand. Continuing, he has done a lot for me during this period. He saved my studio and also helped find this nursing home for you. He never mentioned any of these, but I know it's all his help. I don't know why he's so nice to me until I found this yesterday. With that, he took out a book from his backpack. It was the one I gave him before. Besides that sentence on the title page, there were also my name and the date. Mom, do you know Leo? James' mother sighed and said, so you two, again. James keenly caught the word again in his mother's words. He became very excited and voiced his previous speculation, so we were together before, right? James' mother sighed, slowly asking, son, why can't you like girls? Mom, I like Leo. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just because it's him. So are you two together? No. He hasn't accepted my confession yet. James, you're my only child. From childhood to now, you've never let me worry. When you were a child, I fantasized that in the future you would have a loving wife, cute children and a happy family instead of being like Mom, loving the wrong person and choosing the wrong path. James' mother stroked his face and then said, later, I got sick. Mom suddenly realized that people really can't predict what will happen tomorrow. So I've thought it through. Mom respects all your choices. Life may be long or short. Just don't leave any regrets. I saw James smiling at his mother, and the woman was also looking at him lovingly. I couldn't help smiling either, and then turned around and left. My steps were a bit brisk, so naturally I didn't hear James' mother say, son, I once said some really bad things to Leo. If I have the time, I'd like to apologize to him in person. Tom seemed to have pressed the fast forward button, and in a blink of an eye, it was the day when the contract expired. Today is also the day when James meets the other protagonist, Benjamin. Meanwhile, it's also my birthday. Today, before going out, I said to James, the contract has expired. Our sugar daddy relationship is over. James instantly looked dejected. Are you going to push me away again? Don't abandon me. He threw himself at me and rubbed against me flatteringly. Before celebrating my birthday, I still have to attend a dinner party. By then, many important figures in the business world will show up. I can't be absent either. During the banquet, I went aside to take a break. But I saw James talking to a man. James was dressed in a sharp suit, faintly exuding the charm of a mature man. His game studio has already taken shape, and the achievements it has made are also quite good. To go the long term, it has to be seen by more investors, so I got him an invitation. Seeing me coming, he stepped forward enthusiastically and obediently called out, Mr. Leo. Suddenly, I remembered the plot the system told me a year ago. Today, main bottom will be drugged and then saved by main top. The first encounter between the two starts with having sex. I thought it was necessary to remind James. Don't touch anything at the event today if you can help it, especially the wine given to you by others. What should I do? I've already drunk it. As he said, he raised the nearly empty red wine glass in his hand. I was a bit speechless, but I hoped it wasn't spiked. Do you feel uncomfortable? No. I let out a sigh of relief. At this time, Daniel came over to introduce me to an important client. After instructing James one more time, I left. When the banquet was half over, I searched for James again, but this time I didn't see him. A sudden sense of uneasiness welled up in my heart, so I asked Henry to check on his whereabouts. After a while, Henry walked over and handed me a room card. Someone saw him being supported into room 513. Do you need me to bring some people with you? No. I'll call you if something really happens. Okay. At the room door, I swiped the card and entered neatly. The room was pitch dark. James was lying on the bed. I checked the room and there was no one else. I was about to wake James up. Just as I was about to touch him, James grabbed my hand first. His body is very hot and his eyes are blurred. If I'm not mistaken, he was drugged again. James leaned his head towards me, his voice a bit hoarse. Brother, I feel uncomfortable. Endure it. I'll take you to the hospital. Just as I took out my phone, James pounced on me. I was pressed onto the bed and the phone fell to the ground. The scorching breath hit my face and I was immobilized. I tried to push him away, but I couldn't move him at all. During the entanglement, the door was opened again and a man came in. Fortunately, James wasn't completely out of his mind and he let go of me. No wonder I couldn't find you, Mr. Leo. Let me introduce myself. My name is Benjamin. Another main character has appeared. So will the result still be the same as what the system said? I sized up this man. He had outstanding looks and an extraordinary bearing. Benjamin raised his hands in a surrender gesture. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Leo. I'm not here to steal your man. I'm here to give you a birthday present. He threw over a bottle of potion, then put the room card on the table and turned to leave. Give it to him to drink. There will be a surprise. The door closed and there were only the two of us left in the room. I held the potion and looked at James and asked, do you want to drink it? James hugged me again and rubbed against my neck. I'll listen to you, brother. Then drink it. James started to torment me in all sorts of ways. I suddenly realized the effect of this potion. He regained his memory. In the last minute of today, James got close to my ear and said piously, baby, happy birthday. Let's never be separated again. The next day, I woke up when it was already bright. James was lying quietly asleep beside me. I struggled to get up, picked up the phone that had fallen on the ground and replied to the messages. I originally planned to celebrate my birthday with Henry and the others yesterday, but I forgot. Beautiful men really distract one. After replying to a few messages, I felt the long, lost electric current sound coming from my mind. What have you done? Isn't it obvious? Do you know he is the main top? I've slept with him. Of course I know he is the main top dot. Your mission has failed. Do you know that? It doesn't matter. I don't want that 1 billion anymore. Why did you promise me at that time that you would follow the plot? My performance bonus. Thank you for giving me the courage to approach him again. That's enough. I said that's enough. You scheming gay men. After the conversation with the system, James woke up. He pulled me back into his arms and subconsciously rubbed against me. Good morning, brother. Looking at the marks on my body, I said indifferently, good morning, James. James, who had regained his memory, was completely shameless. I only want to be my brother's dog. After getting up, we tidied up. We still had to meet someone today. At the coffee shop, Benjamin arrived later than us. Sorry, there was a traffic jam on the way. I waved my hand to show that I didn't mind. I've received the money from the two of you. James and I glanced at each other, and I said, what did you spend the money for? To not appear in front of us for this year. Coincidentally, I also spent the money for this. So you're making money from both sides. Benjamin touched the tip of his nose and laughed. First of all, it's stupid not to make money when there's a chance. Secondly, I'll make sure your money is well spent. With that, he took out 2 bottles of potions from his pocket and handed them to us, saying, I'll solve your concerns. Drink it, and from now on, the plot and the system will have nothing to do with you. We drank the potions and felt something being pulled away. When I opened my eyes again, I looked at the man in front of me and asked doubtfully, who are you? Benjamin said, I'm sharing the table with you. Do you mind? I shook my head and then left with James. After we left, Benjamin had a conversation with his system. Let's go. Go to the next world. I really don't understand you. The money they gave is not enough to buy your points. Why do you do a losing business? It's better to tear down a temple than to ruin a marriage. Don't talk nonsense. I'm going to continue earning points.